Come on. We will win. Because we will hit all game. We are motivated. We are dedicated. Come on now. Come on now. We will win. Because we are the best on the field. Then we hit the field like, all day like, all night like, on the blue light, offense like, defense like, his squad like, house call like, and it sound like, and it sound like, and it sound like.
Welcome to the Short Sports Show. I'm your host, Daniel Short. Today is Friday, June 23rd. Woo, what an NBA draft. Well, I mean, kind of, sort of. It was a lot of hype to it, you know, going through all the trades that we had, including my Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not going to go on a rant. I promise I will not go on a rant, but I wasn't that happy. But we will talk about the winners and losers of the NBA draft. And how about Kansas? Rock Chalk Jayhawks. They're going to spend over $300 million for their football renovations. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. An Ohio State recruit wore an interesting t-shirt to a football camp. We'll talk about that. Oakland Raiders extend their franchise. Quarterback, can he lead them to the Super Bowl? Also, the NCAA College World Series. We are down to the Final Four with TCU defeating Louisville last night. It is Oregon State, LSU, and Florida versus TCU, which TCU, I believe, plays tonight, so that'll be a fun game to watch. As always, we're going to talk about college football news first, and, University of Oklahoma safety Will Sundler has been charged with a felony burglary on Wednesday. Per the Oklahoman, the charge against Sunderland came after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Now, Oklahoma head coach Lincoln Riley announced Monday that Sunderland had been indefinitely suspended following a warrant for concealing stolen property was issued. Now, he only appeared in 8 games for the Sooners and over 2 seasons with the team. And he had his first interception against Texas back in 2016 last season. This guy really, didn't, obviously just 8 games over 2 years. And that's not starting. That's just appearing in 8 games in 2 seasons. So not a big loss for Oklahoma, but not a way you want to start a new era of a new head coach at a big time program. Other Big 12 news. I guess we're just talking about Big 12 today. I just realized that. Other than Ohio State news. West Virginia head coach Dana Holgorsen announced Tuesday that quarterback Will Grier will be eligible to play all season. Full, no suspension, including the season opening game against Virginia Tech on September 3rd at FedEx Field in Maryland. Now, West Virginia had applied for and received a waiver from the NCAA to make Grier eligible for the start of the season. That went through. Now, many of you remember he was at the University of Florida and he was suspended for 1 year midway through the 2015 season at Florida for a positive PED test before transferring to West Virginia and sitting out all of 2016 due to that and also transfer rules. Now, during his freshman year for the Gators, he went 5-0 as a starter, passing for over 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, while rushing for another 2 scores. So this is big-time news for West Virginia. This is what they were hoping for, obviously. And now you go against a somewhat rival Virginia Tech opening game, and you have your starting quarterback, which, if Will Grier can play like he did his freshman year and only even better now that he's learned and he's been under the system and he's sat, for the entire year and knows what it's like, this guy could actually be really good. A dark horse for the Heisman because West Virginia, though they struggled last year to score, that was a lot of inexperience. And I think recruiting-wise, Will Grier can make things happen, and I think West Virginia might be putting up some points and can contend for the Big 12 championship this year. Just a lot of people are not going to talk about them. But, I'm talking about it. So let's see if it happens. During a meet and greet for the Kansas football team on Wednesday, athletic director Sean Zingler delivered the breaking news for the program. And that is they are now going to have a $300 million football renovations. That includes a indoor practice facility, updating, of course, locker rooms and other football projects, and renovating their main stadium, Memorial Stadium. Now, he said the architects will complete their renderings in next week, in 3 weeks. But it won't be announced to the public. It won't be released to the public until September, sometime then. Now, for a football team that hasn't won much really since 10 years ago, this is their way of trying to get back into it. Now, I'm on the side of, Kansas. Obviously, we all know them for their basketball. Dominating there. They win Big 12 championships. They're in the NCAA tournament. They contend for an NCAA championship each year. Why not invest that money more into the basketball program? Because $300 million for a team that's won less than 10 games in over 5 years, that is a little worrisome in terms of just overall spending. Because, you could go look at the University of Cal. They don't know how to spend for their athletic budget. They're in the deep, deep red. That's very bad. And Kansas, obviously, they reviewed this. They approved it. It's a little weird. Now, again, for you young folks out there, 10 years ago, back in 2007, Kansas, believe it or not, and we are talking football here, was ranked not only in the top 10, but the top 5. Them and Missouri were the ones contending for a Big 12 championship, along with Texas, along with Oklahoma. Yes, Kansas and Missouri. I'm not joking here. They, I think, won the Orange Bowl. I can't remember. They went or they lost. I don't know. Either way, it's weird stuff. It's trippy stuff. But in all of this being said, I want to take a serious note here. Don't let the fact that Kansas football is spending $300 million to renovate their stadium and other projects. Don't let that fact make you forget that Kansas beat Texas football last season. Yeah, that's pretty funny. If you guys, for you that are listening on podcast or audio version, be sure I'm going to upload that segment. You're not going to want to miss it. Trust me, you are going to want to see that ending right there. I'm sorry. That's funny. I'm sorry. All right, something that is not funny and is on the serious side. One of the best defensive end prospects in the 2018 class wore an interesting and somewhat controversial T-shirt at an Ohio State football camp. Now, he's a Cleveland native. Tyreek Smith wore a T-shirt that wrote, "I hope I don't get killed for being black today," end quote. Now, he was asked about why he wore this particular shirt by the media, and he said, quote, "I decided to wear that shirt because I wanted to bring attention to the epidemic of blacks being killed at an alarming rate. What we would like to do is have people talk about these issues to reduce the murder rate of African Americans," end quote. Now, his brother Malik said the purpose of the shirt is to raise awareness on both police brutality and on black crimes. And he said, quote, "The T-shirt was created to bring light into the everyday problems that blacks face between police and black-on-black crimes. The shirt exemplifies a voice that we have but may not be heard. So why not have people see it," end quote. Now, he does hold offers from many of the big programs. Again, he's one of the best defensive end prospects in the class of 2018. He's got offers from Florida, Georgia, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, Texas, USC, and Oklahoma, including Ohio State. Now, hopefully this doesn't hurt his recruiting chances. Obviously, he's got big-time programs already recruiting after him, but we have already seen what has happened on the pro stage level of Colin Kaepernick and his activism and him not really getting a job. What will this affect a college or really a high school athlete? He's going to be a senior this year. And, it's very controversial because some people are going to be on the extreme on one side, people are going to be on the extreme of the other. I'm right in between as much as I possibly can, not just for media reasons. This is my own show. I can say what I want. But I'm in between because I understand and I'm on his side for why he wore this T-shirt. And if you think about it, before people say, my first thought before reading anything was, why would he wear that T-shirt at an Ohio State camp, not just because of Ohio State, but just at a football recruiting camp. Why would he wear it? But you got to think of it on his side. Again, he's just a high school player. And he's coming from, I mean, we don't even list his high school on here. It's not coming from a big-time high school program. So he really doesn't have much media attention. And this is his time when he was going to be on camera. And I'm not saying he did this for himself, but he did this really at the right time. And, of course, we've seen sadly, the video that was released with the Philando Castile incident, which was absolutely terrible. Respectfully, how do you feel about this? Now, when I ask that, I want to hear from people. On YouTube, we have a great comment section. We got a great fan base there that we like to have our own little debates down there. But anything, and I shouldn't have to say this, but I will remove any racial or derogative comments on there. I shouldn't have to state that, but you'd be surprised for people on YouTube. The message was clear, and I wonder if other high school athletes will get into this, as well as college athletes wearing T-shirts, and talking more about this, because this is an epidemic that is happening, and how can it be solved? And again, starting conversation is the first step. Let me know in the comment section. Also tweet me at Short Sports Show. Become a fan on Facebook, The Short Sports Show. Moving on to the NFL, ex-New York Jets linebacker David Harris. Well, he agreed to a 2-year deal with the AFC East rival New England Patriots. The Jets, they say they're not tanking, but I mean, in all honesty, can we really believe that they are not just blowing everything away for whatever reason in the NFL draft of next year of 2018 that they see, whether it's Sam Darnold at quarterback, whether it's the Wyoming quarterback that I always forget his name, and I feel bad because he's really good. He might even be better than Sam Darnold. To believe that the Jets aren't tanking right now is, well, you've got to have a strong argument for why they're not, because they are in a bad state. I thought the 49ers had a worse overall roster. I don't believe that anymore. I think them and the Browns have upgraded at least a tad bit. I think the Jets right now are by far the worst team in the NFL. Now, they released Harris on June 6th after not being able to agree on a pay cut for the linebacker, so they say. And he played 10 seasons for this team. Now, guys, a second-round pick out of 2007, he ranked second in tackles in team history. He called the signals for Jets head coach Todd Bowles' defense. He played 87% of the defensive snaps last season. He was their longest tenured player. And, I mean, he could still play. He's 33 years old, but this guy can, which is not old, but in football terms, it somewhat is, but this guy can still play. And that's why, he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll just go win a ring, or at least actually compete for a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. And the Patriots did a smart thing here. Not only, regardless if you want to believe they still cheat or not, now they've got even more insight to how the Jets run their defense, how they run, which I'm sure Bill Belichick already knew how they ran it and is already a smart enough guy to, analyze everything itself without having to bring in ex-players. But you bring in one of their best, if not the best defensive player, and their smartest player. A guy that's been there, again, for 10 seasons. So He only missed one game last season, which snapped the streak of 121 consecutive starts. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So the Patriots doing what the Patriots do, picking up great talent where everyone else sees nothing. On the other side, well, the Oakland Raiders just signed the most expensive? No. Signed Derek Carr, their franchise quarterback. They extended him to make him the richest NFL player in NFL history with this deal. They finalized the deal to make him an annual $25 million per year. And his agent and, thankfully, the team, they're respectful, and they knew what was happening. Of course, for people that just look at the contract and say, oh, $25 million, it's a lot of money, big thing, great for the Raiders and great for Derek Carr. Thing is, when you look into the contract, the agent backloaded the contract, which meaning they put more money on the back end of the years because In the state of California, they have either the highest or one of the highest state tax at 13.3%, I believe. In the state of Nevada, which the Raiders will then move to here in a couple years, well, they don't have a state tax. So by moving more money to the end of the contract, when they're actually in Nevada, he won't have to pay state tax. So that means he keeps more money. Very simple. This Carr is now the NFL's highest paid player in terms of new money average. The new money in Carr's deal will average more per year than the amount given to Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck, who currently topped that list at the time with $24.6 million. Now, Carr, who's only 26 years old, passed for over 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, helping to lead the Raiders to their first postseason appearance since 2002. Of course, we saw how that ended up, though, with him breaking his fibula and having to miss the playoff game against the Houston Texans, which, again, I believe had he played, they would have won. Let's see. This was great timing by the Raiders to get this deal done, because on the other side, the Detroit Lions are trying to lock up their franchise quarterback in Matthew Stafford, and with him having a potential franchise tag already at an annual, which it's just a one-year deal, but it would have been over 24, likely 25 million, and if they extended him to a long-term deal, which they are trying to get done, he might have topped that, and maybe they would have pushed for Carr to get more than that, more money. Back and forth kind of thing. A lot of egos, a lot of money. Now, this team is likely, of course, to contend for the AFC Championship for the better part of the next decade. And with the Patriots getting a little bit older, whether you want to argue Jimmy Garoppolo staying and becoming the successor, that's a different time. That's a different argument. We haven't been able to say the same things about the Oakland Raiders. Do you believe Derek Carr can lead them to the Super Bowl? I do. Sadly, as a Chargers fan, it's not looking good to us, because you look at the AFC West, the Broncos are kind of on a decline, even though defense is helping, but it's kind of just It's a terrible analogy. I don't know what I'm doing. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're just a team that they're going to compete in the regular season and just falter in the playoffs if they make it. The Chargers, man, we are just trying to keep hope alive. Meanwhile, the Raiders are developing talent, drafting great players. Again, another thing we haven't been able to say for a while. And now you've got some star-studded athletes on that team, smart guys, and finally a franchise quarterback that you're going to have for a very, very long time. And I believe we'll compete. Maybe they take the ranks over the Patriots. Again, I think we all really want to see, regardless of your team interest, your team fan, I think we all want to see New England Patriots, Oakland Raiders in the AFC Championship. A little rematch. That would be exciting. Let me know in the comment section. Also, tweet me at Short Sports Show. Again, that's it really for NFL news. There wasn't a whole lot that I really want to talk that I thought was interesting. Of course, the NBA draft was last night, and it was pretty exciting. Not, again, as exciting as I think we all really thought it was going to be. Once the top kind of 5 picks kind of came in, it was just, yeah, we saw it coming. And as a Lakers fan, I said I wasn't going to rant, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to rant. I cannot stand LeVar Ball. And I know it's wrong for me to kind of put that on Lonzo, and I'm really trying not to. I seriously, I'm not trying to bash Lonzo Ball. I believe he can compete. I believe he can succeed at some point. Now, do I believe trading off Russell and having Ball over Russell? I disagree with that completely. I really do. And I understand it had to happen because of the previous management making that terrible, terrible deal, which we talked about on the show after they signed him, how bad it was to sign Muskov, whatever his name is, to that terrible deal. They gave him a ton of money for a guy. They gave him all-star money. I'm already going on a rant. I'm going on a rant. Okay. Anyways, 76ers did a great job trusting the process. And how about Embiid and Ben Simmons going on Twitter, kind of making fun of Lonzo Ball and LeVar as well. I thought it was funny. I liked it. I just can't stand LeVar Ball. I can't. I can't. I'm not going to do this thing where, oh, but you got to respect him. He got his son to the league. No. I think his son already had talent that it would have made it if he had a different father. LeVar Ball is in it for himself. Interest. I don't respect him. I don't like him. I don't have to. I don't. Business or otherwise. I don't have to. And I won't. But Lonzo Ball, I hope he can compete. I hope he can succeed for the Lakers because guess what? We just gave up a lot and kind of pushing for the future. Now, am I going to address the next year of 2018 rumors? Paul George, he almost got traded to the Celtics last night. That would have been interesting to see what the Lakers would have done had that happened. Now, that doesn't mean it still can't happen. It still can. And seeing how free agency might go, if the Lakers tank another season, which it doesn't seem like that's what they're trying to do, but I don't know what they're going to do because trading for Paul George now might be the smart thing, but do you really think a Lakers team with Paul George, Lonzo Ball, and the team they have right now is going to push them to the playoffs? I do not think so. And just like LeVar Ball said, that they're going to the playoffs. Well, I hope so, but I don't see it happening. Anyways, that's kind of a Lakers talk and not the NBA. The winners and losers, 76ers, obviously the definite winner of that draft, getting Markelle Fultz from the University of Washington. They've got the team. They're young, and I don't expect them to make the playoffs, but I do expect a bigger jump. Last season, they made a pretty solid jump. Hopefully, Ben Simmons stays healthy this season and actually plays, and we can see what he can do translating his game to the professional ranks. Of course, they just need to stay healthy. That team needs to stay healthy. They have the talent. They've got the smart brains. Now they just got to put it all together and stay healthy and play on the court. Spurs did a good job as well, I think. Lakers, I still will count it as a winner just because they got some big men. They got some. They got a forward and a center still in that draft and made some other trades. Kind of building up that team a little bit. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just why are my teams? All I have is TCU. That's it. Chargers. Terrible Lakers. I'm sorry, guys. I am ranting. That's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you're brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, wherever, be sure to subscribe, give us a rating, and share it out. And I'll tweet you. Follow me on Twitter at Short Sports Show. As always, God first, God bless. And I will see you guys in next Friday's show. I'm out. Peace.